I do believe that Israel probably did its homework and chose a monarch that is aligned to their brand.
Which means Oscar Basentlama Tabeti Nyumyan, from now on. 2 months uklini office yakhe agoduke.
Inkosi zase-Eastern Cape kanithathe iposition yenu inikhokhele ikumkani kanithathe iposition.
Mzansi, in politics there's no permanent home and there's no permanent enemy, there's no permanent friend in politics.
Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's take a look at this update briefly. The Eastern Cape is back and it's trending again because of the conflict between the South African government and the leadership in the Eastern Cape, particularly the Abethembu King Dalidyebo. His latest now activities is that he has gone ahead and dismissed 3 chiefs under his leadership, and one of them being Nelson Mandela's grandson, that is Chief Mandla, who was the chief of Umve. So that will be quite interesting to see where that one lands up. We'll take a look at the thoughts and sentiments around that. He further went on to denounce or reject the EFF and embrace ATM. You'll know that the leader of the ATM was part of their visit to that country, Easy, the other time. We'll talk about that and see some thoughts and sentiments around that as well. And he did not stop there. Abethembu King keeps rather bringing it on. He further gave the premier of the province, the Eastern Cape, marching orders. He no longer wants him as part of the Eastern Cape government. Rather, what are your thoughts on that? Does he have jurisdiction to make such calls? And exactly where does the power of a monarchy, traditional leadership versus constitution end? We'll take a look at those thoughts and sentiments as well. We know that there's a lot happening in the Eastern Cape, including the renaming of certain areas, service delivery at large, and of course people are wanting to see a change. It looks like the chief and the king is taking matters into his own hands. The people are cheering for him. Of course, there are those that are against. We'll take a look at the thoughts and sentiments around this. Let's take a look at this one further. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for joining us on this one. Let's continue.
Comrades, family and friends, greetings to all of you. Since my return from the Global Sumud Flotilla, I've come to learn that King Sobhuza II's granddaughters from his son Prince Tumbumuzi were touring occupied Palestine whilst I was unlawfully detained. We make a call to all liberation movements aligned with the Congress movement, progressive forces who stand in solidarity with Palestine. Abethembu, Abamabela Puzupuzu, Omvelase, Kuten, in KwaZulu-Natal, Amandungwane, Amahlanga, Amadlomo, Amachacho, and all descendants of His Majesty King David Dalidyebo and Comrade King Sabata Dalidyebo, Ajonghlanga, the founding monarchs of our revolutionary movement, King Dinizulu, Chief Mutsiwa Wabarolong, Chief Mupei Wabakhatla, all traditional leaders affiliated with the liberation movement, our Commander-in-Chief Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela's army, the real Mkhonto Wesizwe veterans, the Mujahideen, Pagat, our faith-based formations and workers' organizations, NGOs and CBOs. We call on all of you. Let us all take a stand and be a voice of the oppressed and most vulnerable people around the world.
Nidifakelani ndingayazi. Ndifakelwani bantwana basekhaya. Bethunana.
Can it foot tag, serial foot tag? Ngena CIC ngena. Tata Julius Malema Tata.
We will continue to have a relationship with the royal family of Abethembu as a royal family recognized by our nation, by our people. Dalidyebo's politics as an individual, and if he's a member, is he a member? Did we check him on the system? If he's a member, he's no longer a member because he defined himself outside the organizational policy. He's not us who chased him away. If he's a member, he chased him away. So you have no business, none whatsoever, with being a member of the EFF. But do we require kings to be members of the EFF for us to have a relationship with the kingdom? No. Musizulu is not a member of the EFF. I was at his wedding, and if given opportunity, I will still go and meet with him. His membership is irrelevant because I have to respect and recognize the traditional leadership. As it were, actually, the kings should not be allowing themselves to join political parties.
But we all know that the king is the person that who can wake up tomorrow singing another song, wearing a different t-shirt. He doesn't give a damn. And also what I didn't like in his endorsement speech, it's when he started insulting Oscar Mabuyane by saying Ingad and all of that. He's showing his misbehavior, as well as also punching Julius Malema, who showed him love and support when no one was giving him that kind of love. So for me, Mzansi, and we also heard that the president, Mr. Nonunga of ATM, is the one who arranged the visit to Israel. Remember, the king was in Israel and showing middle finger to South African government, because South African government, we know that our government was standing with Gaza in that situation of genocide stories and all of that. So and also the key and now my other question I have is that how does Violethu Zungula navigate around this thing of the party that is supporting or is a member of is supporting Israel instead of Gaza? And we all know Zungula is pro-black, is that person who's fighting against the inequality, who's fighting apartheid, who doesn't play. So Mzansi njalo umbuzo nabo Mr. Zungula noba wenza njani yena Mr. Zungula Violethu kule meko yoba umbutho akuwo usupporte iIsrael kodwa yena unegazi loba ame nabantu basegazi ngoba kadibe nangu Mr. Zungula nocinezeleka kwabantu.
Ithi ke ngoku lento oceba beANC phandle emhlabeni wabathembu. Langada kuthiwa nguOscar ndiyothule esihlalweni. Out! Ngimnika from now on 2 months uklini office yakhe agoduke. Dino premier elect none other than Nonunga. This is our new premier of the Eastern Cape. Ithi lento hlukanani naba masipala bangwevungwevu bafunde bamdaka babolileyo. Zonke ingxaki zenu kusukela namhlanje nizizisa ku-premier elect. Namhlanje ndipronounce into yokumandla Mandela kaseyonkosi empela. Out! Inabucimbi bakuyadlalwa apha. Njengoba thina sichapha amagwebu sisindisa insana zenu. Yena ubhizi uchapha amagwebu usindisa insana ePalestine. From this point onward, out! Eska Kesare ku Kesare.
God have mercy upon us.
An apartheid state of Israel, who have butchered people in Palestine, who have even had the audacity to think that they can bring clean drinking water to rural people of Eastern Cape, using the crisis of water in that particular area as an entry point for their programs as Israel. We must not take kindly to the fact that the enemy of South Africa, being Israel, wishes to utilize the traditional leaders to enter into the back room of our country. Recently, the media here knows that our country has taken that particular country, Israel, to international court on their genocidal attitude perpetrated against the peoples of Palestine. Now, it cannot be that in the Eastern Cape, you find one of ourselves, the traditional leader, that becomes an inviter of a state that has been declared as an apartheid state by a United Nations. Now, the king was completely out of order, and he knows that what he's doing is a betrayal of the trust of his own subjects in that particular area. Now, it's upon the Thembus to reflect on the conduct of their own king insofar as this particular matter is concerned. We applaud the stance that has been taken by government of South Africa, and we fully support that particular stance of expelling that particular ambassador of Israel, who has broken all protocols in engaging between the state and the state. We hope that all South Africans will support this particular matter. The provincial, who is also a premier, has already spoken about the need to agitate for more services, in particular in rural areas. Henceforth, our Lekgotla resolutions is emphatic on the need to provide clean drinking water to the communities, agitating for better hospitals and for more medicines. And that is why last year the provincial government of the Eastern Cape employed so many doctors, nurses and other pharmacists in the hospitals to ensure that we have got capabilities to serve the people of the Eastern Cape better, efficiently. So we have got that particular capability. That's why we are speaking about the efficiencies on government to spend and to ensure that we provide better services to our people. I wanted us to make that particular point about the king. I know that the chair will not be comfortable using a term himself.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there you have it. Those are some of the thoughts and, spicy and different views coming in there. Please do follow them on various social media platforms to get a broader sense of their contributions when it comes to this matter. Also, look out on various news platforms to get a response from the officials themselves. In this video, we have cut some of them, included them, and made them shorter so that we can get their point, but also continue the conversation right here with having seen various views on the ground about this. There is a department in South Africa called the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. That is where all of this work it falls in, and even the king is taken care of under that department. There is a framework that they have commented and said governs all of the traditional leaders. It is called the Traditional Leadership and Governance Framework Amendment Act. So they are saying Dalidyebo has no power to install or remove anybody if he is doing it outside of this act, but not to wake up and decide that, okay, today you are going. It has to be a process that is overseen by the traditional affairs. Guys, so at this moment it's the Tiger War, whether how far does the powers of traditional leaders go. Now it's a very, very tricky situation because people tend to mix things up. Thank you so much for joining us on this one. How do you think this will end? Of course, the premier is not going anywhere, but what is the next step of Willie Kaya? Because he seems determined to rule the Eastern Cape all by himself. Let me know what your sentiments are down below. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video.